Welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Trace's first year. So this is pretty much going to be his first year update. Even though it's been 11 months since I've had him, we haven't actually gotten to the 1 year mark just yet. But I figured, let's go ahead and film it. It was on my mind, and I was like, let's go ahead and get it out the way now. I was trying to think of some content and some easy videos that I can put out for you guys. So I thought, why not go ahead and shoot or film his 1 year update? So I'm gonna go through a few topics. And before we get to that, if you are not a part of the KO squad, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, so that way I know if you like the content. Go ahead and also hit that notification bell so that you'll always be in the know whenever I post new content. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first thing, and before I go any further, if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my journal. I don't want to ramble or anything. I want to make sure I'm hitting all the points and all the good stuff. All right. So first thing, let me get Trace over here. Trace, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. He doesn't want to listen. Come here. He's sitting and staring at me like he's processing it. All right. Here is Trace. Here's the star of the show. My little doggy son, Trace. This is Trace Jennings. And he's wearing his little, I actually went ahead and put his little birthday shirt on. Oh, he's so cute. I went ahead and put his little birthday shirt on. On the back it says birthday vibes. But I wanted him to have a cute little shirt for the sake of the video. As you guys can see. Oh, I thought he was biting it. I was supposed to say, stop, boy. So this is Trace, and I know y'all saw his picture in the last video I did about the puppy essentials haul when we were first about to get him, but it's been so long and he's a big boy now. This is the biggest that he's going to get. So he's about 16 pounds, I'm gonna say, maybe 15. I don't know. Y'all see this? He loves licking. But what was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. He's so adorable. So this is the biggest that he's going to get. He's not gonna get any bigger than this. He's a little feisty fella, so he doesn't really like being held. I'm actually surprised that he's letting me hold him like this long. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to see him. He is a Malti Cotonpoo, so he is Maltese, Cotton Day Tuller, and a poodle mix. So his daddy was a poodle mix. He was a full poodle almost. His dad was all black. Well, his dad is all black, and his mom is Cotton Day Tuller. And her hair, she pretty much was white, and her hair was all white and really straight, so she didn't have any curls. And I believe she was mixed with Maltese as well, I think. But yeah, he's a Malti Cotonpoo, and as you guys can see, he's a bit scruffy right now. He needs a haircut. I don't think he's had a haircut since, I think he hasn't had a haircut since his birthday in June. I'm not sure, but if anybody knows, like, haircuts are pretty pricey. So, but yeah, we need to go get him taken care of. But he has a lot of mats right now in his hair because mommy and daddy are not brushing his hair as we should on a consistent basis. So his hair and his undercoat is very matted. It may not look like it, but it really is, like, at the roots. So, but yeah, this is Trace. So adorable. And I'm gonna go into some more details about him. While he's letting me hold him, I guess I can talk. So like I said, we did get him on September 26th of last year. If it wasn't the 26th, it was the 25th. But we got him September 26th or the 25th of last year. All I know is that it was a Saturday. And we got him in the afternoon. And pretty much we got him from ABC Puppy. So ABC Puppy, basically they're a business where they have a website where you can purchase pups from breeders that are in their local area. So if you want to purchase a puppy, you can purchase a puppy through them instead of going directly through the breeder. So that is what I did. They have a business page on Facebook, and I just came across them. And before that, it was not in the plan for me to get Trace. I actually had already secured a deposit for a Cotonpoo, because for a while I was set on a Cotonpoo and I wanted a brown one, and I was gonna go through a breeder. I basically had secured a spot already, and I just had to wait a few months for the puppy to be born. So overall, that puppy was gonna be about $4,000 to get it. And at the time, I was very antsy, and I was like, you know what? I just want the puppy already. Like, I just want a puppy. And to wait that long and to spend that much money, because I had calculated it in my budget and trying to figure out how much I need to save on a weekly basis. And I was like, you know what? This isn't worth it, especially for how much I'm already going to have to pay to get supplies and to make sure we have some pet insurance, and as well as the vaccinations and everything. So I just did some more research, and I was on Facebook. I had already knew about ABC Puppy, but every time I went on their website, I didn't see any puppies that I particularly liked. I wanted a pup that was nice and curly, really cute. And at the time, like I said, I really did not want a black furred dog. I wanted a brown one. And so anyway, one day I just happened to go on ABC Puppy, and I looked on the website and I saw Trace, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's adorable. Even though I didn't really, at first, my preference was not for black fur, but I was like, you know what, something about him is just so adorable. I just couldn't stop looking at him, and I was like, you know what, I think I want to get him. Even though I had already put a deposit down that was non-refundable, I was like, you know what, I would much rather just go ahead and get him, because I'm going to be spending less money either way if I get him. So I reached out to them. He was still available, and so I reached out to them. I put my deposit down and secured the date. He was actually ready to go, guys. He was ready to go. However, I was not prepared. So I asked them if I could get him in 2 weeks. And they say, yeah, sure, 2 weeks is fine. So 2 weeks went by. I took that time to prepare and get myself ready for Trace, to make sure that we have everything we needed, that we had everything we needed. I was planning on vlogging like the entire, process of the first day or two. But if I am being completely honest, I was very emotional. It was emotionally stressful for me, and I just could not bring myself to pick up the camera. I couldn't, because it wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go, and how I thought it was gonna go. And as a first-time dog owner or dog mom, I really didn't. It's like I knew how I had my own imagination or my own perspective of how I thought that it was going to turn out, but it didn't turn out that way. He was very, I won't say he was very aggressive, but I will say that he attached really quick to my husband versus me. So there was some times where he was like spending time with my husband, and I may have like come out of the kitchen and he was in the living room with Trace, and Trace would just out of nowhere just bark at me, like lash out. And I'm like, what is going on? So I was very emotional, because I was like, you know what, this is stressful. One, we were up all night. He was crying. We wanted to get him crate trained. We put him in the crate because he didn't want to be in his playpen area that we had designated for him with all of his toys in his bed. He didn't like it. So we had him in the crate all night. I literally played jazz. I sung to him, y'all. I was doing everything that I could to keep him from crying and to help us get some rest that first night. I sung gospel songs to him and he actually calmed down. And then when I was tired of singing, I started playing Keiko Matsui. She is a jazz musician, and y'all, she's amazing. I love her music. So I played that for him. I just like sat my phone on top of his crate and I went to sleep. So I do remember us waking up at like 5 a.m. because he was crying, and it was just a lot. I don't really remember that much because it was a while ago. But I just kind of want to give y'all a glimpse of what that 24 to 48 hours was like. Like I said, it was very stressful. And the next evening, like, I will not lie, I was so, the whole situation. And y'all, I wanted to give him back. I reached out to the guy that I got the puppy from, and I said, but I was like, does anybody return these dogs within the first 24 to 48 hours? Because I was really contemplating it. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? And yeah, so I just started to take it one day at a time. Things actually got better, and I'm very thankful for my husband because he was so patient and he really worked with him a lot. The next day, like the second day we had him, I ended up having to leave the house for church because I had an obligation to fulfill, and so I could not, you know, miss church for that reason. So my husband ended up staying home with him because of how crazy things were the night before, and we just knew we were not going to be able to get away. Come here. That's what it's like having a dog. He gets into everything. Come here, buddy. Come here. But yeah, so I really wanted to, like I said, I wanted to get rid of him. I'm not even playing. And my family was like, you know, just hang in there. And like I said, my husband was attached at that point, and Trace was attached to him within the first week, within the first couple of days. So me getting rid of him was just not gonna happen. And the thought of that kept coming up, you know, within the first month, 2 months, you know, we had our rough times, but things started looking up, and I just love him. Like, we still have our rough moments because he can be a handful. But yeah, so next is crate training. So in my research before I got him, I knew that I was going to crate train him, and I knew that I was going to have him potty trained as soon as possible. So we ended up crate training him as soon as we could. Like I said, the first night we had him in the crate. And so the way we crate trained him was with treats, of course, positive reinforcement as much as we could, guiding him into the crate, putting treats in there, getting him to get comfortable with going inside of the crate, to get that treat, and praising him for it whenever he would go in there and stay in there for, you know, short periods of time here and there. And eventually he got really associated with it. And so now we actually associated his crate to the word home. And so when we say go home, he knows what that means. And I wanted to get away from saying home because whenever we go out and we take him out, I want to be able to say, oh, we're going home. And I don't want him to think we're associating that with him going to his crate. So we started trying to say crate. And so I feel like right now he's in between both. He knows both of them. So we're going to just work on it a little bit more. As far as potty training, so potty training, y'all, I was like, look, if I don't do anything right, I'm gonna make sure that he is potty trained as soon as possible. We got him potty trained within the first 3 weeks, and I attribute a lot of that definitely to my husband, because in seeing the signs of knowing when they're about to go potty, like when they're doing heavy sniffing in the circle motion, you know, they're in that spot that they want to go in, you know, it's time for you to pick them up and take them to the area that you want them to associate to pottying. So my husband did that a lot. So there were times where he would be, you know, about to go on the rug. My husband hurry up, picked him up, and took him outside to his potty patch. Excuse me. And so there were even some times where he did have an accident on the rug or on the carpet. We still, however, picked him up mid-potty and took him outside, so that way he would know, okay, when I feel this urge, when I need to go, I need to go outside on my potty patch. So we purchased a potty patch by Fresh Patch. They have different sizes of grass patches that you can purchase. The grass is fresh grass. When you get it, it's actually very wet. It feels like fresh grass. It's like the top layer is the grassy part, bottom thick layer is kind of like actual dirt, like a thick layer of dirt. So we train him to go out on the patch, and it's very convenient for us because at the way our apartment building is set up, the bottom of our apartment, we don't have any grass. We only have like rocks. And so I didn't want to be getting up at 3 and 4 in the morning to take him to use the bathroom. And so I just was like, you know what? I just want to get the patch and just really get into that habit of, you know, him just going on the patch, and it'll be a whole lot more convenient for me, especially working at home and all that good stuff. I just wanted to centralize the location. So we purchased the patch, and the patch is on our balcony, so that's where he goes regularly. And yeah, also one vital thing within the, one thing that was very important was potty bells. So this item is actually by the brand Potty Bells, I believe. No, it's by Caldwell's Pet Supply Company. So these are called potty bells. It comes with like a handle like this, and you put it on your door handle. And so it has 2 sets of bells. It hangs pretty low. And so the idea is that you train your pup when they need to go to the bathroom. They go up to the bells, they touch it with their nose, or they hit it with their paw, whichever way, to signal to you that they have to go to the bathroom. So in the beginning, you know, we would use treats, and we would take him to the potty bells and kind of get him positively associated with putting his nose up to it, with touching it, so that he wouldn't be scared. He was scared in the beginning when he was a smaller puppy, but he actually got adjusted to it. So now, y'all, this is holy grail. If I'm in the room or if I'm in the bathroom and he has to go and he's in the living room and I'm not in here, I'll hear him touch the bells, and I just come to my door, open the door, let him go to the bathroom, bring him back in. I also take this with me wherever I go. Typically, when I take it to a family member's house, I really don't think that he adjusts that well to it being somewhere else because he's so familiar with it being where it is in our house. So I'll have to see like if he really does go and hit the bells, but I think he will. But yeah, this is a very, very, very vital thing, like very imperative to have. And also this thing right here is our potty bag. So I believe, I forgot the name of the brand. Oh, it's by Earth Rated. And so I love, this is my favorite brand of poopy bags because they're actually scented. They're really nice quality bag. And when you have to go and pick up the poop, you know, it's not really thin. It's a really thick bag. So I actually need to purchase some more. And I'm going to be filming a puppy essentials haul soon. So you guys will see all of the essential things that we use on a daily basis. And so you guys already saw 2 items. So yeah, how many pounds he is? He's 16 to 17 pounds. He's already up to date on all of his shots. The only shot that he does not have is the H1N1, like the influenza one. It's not required that puppies have that. That is, however, I found out about that one because there was a Pet Sweets place that I want to take him to for boarding, and they required that the dogs have H1N1 to protect them from influenza. But I did find a daycare that I now take him to regularly that does not require him to have the H1N1 influenza shot. However, they do require like Bordetella, rabies, all of the other ones that are really, really basic. So he has all of those. He's up to date on all of those, but we're actually coming up on him needing to get something. I forgot which one. It's one of those main ones he needs to get in September because we're coming up on that year mark. What are you eating? Y'all, what? Anyway, so that's that. Also, let's talk about his birthday. So Trace was born on June 14th, 2021. So this year I decided to celebrate his birthday rather than his gotcha day, which would have been September. I really wanted to celebrate his birthday. So I decided to celebrate his birthday. We ended up having his actual birthday party on June 11th of this year. And I'm going to insert some footage either here or here. I don't know which side, but I'm going to insert some footage of his birthday, or maybe at the end I'll put like footage of his birthday or like a compilation of several videos that I have about him. So also, as far as his birthday, we had his birthday party at Hops and Hams. It is a local restaurant that is dog and pet friendly. So I wanted a place where I could take him, where we could eat, where we could have fun with all of our guests and also have our dogs, because there's not a lot of places where you can do that. So I actually found the spot, and it turned out amazing. He had, I believe, 6 guests. My sister-in-law came with her 2 pits, and then my elementary school best friend came with her puppy, and she was a Yorkie. And then we also had another puppy come that we know, a lady from church. She came with her pup. Who else was there? Oh, and my downstairs neighbor came with her puppy as well, which is actually Trace's girlfriend. So that was a really fun experience. He actually did really good. Like, I was so scared because the only type of puppy socialization he's ever had with other dogs was when he would go to daycare. And it took him a while to get to that point because he had to be neutered before he could play with other dogs at daycare. So we got him neutered in March of this year. And so I think he went to the daycare maybe a couple times before his birthday, but I was very nervous about how he was going to act at his birthday party. I thought that he was going to be barking everywhere, because when we're at home and he hears a dog outside the window, he goes berserk. So I thought, oh my gosh, I was very nervous, guys. I was like, you know what? I'm really nervous about how he's gonna act at this party. I don't know if he's gonna act a nut, but y'all, he did so good. I mean, he was around pit bulls, poodles, all kinds of dogs that, you know, he's never been around, and I was just so proud of him. There were moments where he was walking past dogs that were barking at him, and he just was walking straight, not even worried about them. He's like, it's my birthday. I am not worried about y'all. So he did really good. I am so proud of him. And like I said, we had a lot of fun. I made these personal treat bags for all of the doggy guests and for the adults as well. It was so cute, and I can't wait. I probably won't go all out every year because my sister-in-law, she drove several hours from Waco to come. My best friend from school, she drove down from Houston. So I don't want too many people to have to do that every year for his birthday. However, I will celebrate his birthday every year with family, whether it's just a short little birthday or I make him a little cupcake, whatever, you know, I'm going to celebrate. So as part of his birthday, we also did get him a cake, and so I'm going to insert some photos of the cake that he had at his birthday. I had him a miniature cake that had his name on it. It was a peanut butter flavored cake with honey flavored cake. Well, it was a peanut butter icing, and it was honey cake on the inside. I'm sorry, I can't talk. It was honey cake on the inside, and all of the guests had cupcakes. So all of the little puppies had their own cupcakes that they could eat, and yeah. And so for the day of his birthday, which is the 14th, I actually had a giant puppy cupcake made for. It was a giant cupcake with blue rosettes. It was just so cute. and he ate a nice amount of it, not a lot. It was kind of a waste. So next year I'll probably just save money and make it myself and save a whole lot of money. So, and like I said, I'll insert some photos of all of that. So next thing is tricks. So some tricks that Trace knows. He knows sit and down were the first 2 tricks that he learned. We taught him those within the first 2 weeks, maybe, if not less than shorter time frame than that. But we worked on him with sit and down. And so he knows stay. We're still working on stay. Like, he's actually doing a really good job with stay, because he will follow you around every room that you go in. He will run out of the door. And so when I knew that he nailed stay was when I can open the front door, I can tell him stay, and he doesn't run out of the house. So he knows stay for sure. It's just up to him whether he wants to be obedient. So he knows stay. Also, I believe it may have been 2 months ago. No, he knew shake and high five by his birthday. So I think in May I taught him shake and high five. Teaching him shake was very interesting. I put a treat in my hand, had him sniff it. He sniffed my hand, and when he would put his paw up to my hand in that motion, then that's when I would praise him and reward him. One thing I've learned with training puppies or dogs with tricks is that you teach them the motion first before you actually say the command, so that way they can get the actual action down first, and then when you say the command, they can actually pair that word or phrase with the action. So it's actually backwards. You would think that you would constantly say it, but for dogs, they don't process things the way humans do. So you have to teach them the action first and then actually say the command, so that way when you say it, they know, oh, when I did this and when she says this or when I hear that word, that's how, I do it. So yes, he learned shake, and closely after that I taught him high five. Teaching him high five was so easy. And when I had did my research and saw, teaching shake first is better than high five, because they were really close to each other. Since he knew how to put his paw up and shake my hand, he can easily, do high five. Let me see if I can get him to do it right now. Come here, Trace. Shake. Sit. Sit. He's laying down on the couch. Sit. Okay, no. I'm gonna try to get it for you guys. Sit. Good boy. Shake. Shake. Can y'all see? He did it. All right. High five. High five. High five. Okay, whatever. It's too much for him right now. But he does other tricks. So, let's see. Next is, what is that? Oh, I decided to talk about injuries. So luckily we haven't gone through too much injury with him and not too much sickness with him. Within the first couple of weeks, he had this weird hacky cough. And so when we took him to the vet, we told him about it. They gave him some medicine for it. He was supposed to be on this medicine for about 2 weeks. And so that actually cleared up really quick. After that, we really didn't have any problems. Recently, he had a slight injury. It was more of a pulled muscle. And it was so weird because he went to daycare. He came home, everything was fine. The next morning, which was a Sunday morning, we woke up, and we noticed that he wasn't putting any pressure on his left arm. He was just like holding it like this. And we were like, what is going on? And that night, he slept outside of his crate. So I'm not sure if he jumped off the bed, maybe landed on it wrong, or what happened, but he was in a lot of pain. We ended up having to miss church. We took him to the emergency vet because we were trying to chance it at going to church, but I just could not look at him any longer and just let him sit in that pain the way that he was. We could tell that he was just not feeling good at all. So we ended up taking him to the vet, or to the emergency vet hospital. We were there for a good while because of all of the patients that they had. They had a lot of, well, they had this one emergency with a dog that was not doing so well. So we had went to the back. Trace was already in the back. They gave him pain medicine. And after that pain medicine, he was feeling really good. He was able to put pressure on it. He was walking around, running around, doing his thing. And we just were there monitoring him and just kind of waiting on the doctor, because the doctor was seeing a very, like, an emergency pet. So they told us, you know, everything was fine. Nothing looked fractured or anything, that it could have just been a pulled muscle. So they put him on pain medicine for 7 days. And after the 7 days, pretty much, I would say maybe at the 5th day, we just took him off, because they also said that if we noticed any signs of any gastrointestinal issues, which we started seeing that he wasn't eating, and I think it was bothering his tummy, I just decided to just take him off of it, because he was walking around fine. He was no longer limping or anything. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make that decision, do what's best for him, and take him off the medicine. So he was fine. We haven't had any more issues with his arm. He's been fine since then. You know, just having him around, I love having him around, even despite the times where we're yelling at him because he's getting into something. And really, at the end of the day, it's not his fault. It's our fault. We're the ones responsible for him. If he's getting into anything, it's best to just ensure that there's not anything on the floor, so that way he's not getting into it. So really, there are some moments where we know that he's acting out of anger. So those times he does get in trouble. We do actually have a shock collar for him, and I was that one doggy parent that was like, I am not shocking my dog, I am not doing that, blah blah blah. But it's okay to use it if you're not abusing it and just shocking your dog or doing that and they're not doing anything. I really wanted it because there's instances where he's constantly barking or where he's getting into things. So I decided to get a bark/shock collar that comes with a remote where I can adjust the settings. It has a beep, a vibration, and a shock. So the shock can be adjusted from level 1 to 16. We've only used it maybe one time all the way up, maybe around 8 or 10. But we keep it at a minimum, and husband and I decided that we would not go any higher than 4. And he's very furry. So I think that because he has so much hair around him, using it at a high level, he may not feel it. He doesn't feel it of a high intensity as he would if he was like shaved a lot more. So we will see how it goes. Hey, getting into stuff. Come here, buddy. But yeah, that is it. I just wanted you guys to see Tracy Poo. Tracy Poo is his nickname. So I just wanted you guys to see Trace, and I wanted to give y'all his 1-year update just so you guys can see how he's doing. You can barely see his eyes. Like I said, he really needs to go get a haircut. Like I said, he's matted, so Daddy and I are trying to get these mats out before we take him to the pet store, because if we do, like, they are gonna want to cut all his hair off, or they're just not gonna cut his hair at all. So if you're watching this video, thank you so much. Put it in the comments what kind of dog you have, or if you're wanting to get a dog, or if you have some video ideas that you'd like me to talk about regarding puppies, I'll go ahead and do it. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Again, if you are not a part of the KO squad, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos of me and my Tracy Poo. And other than that, I wish you guys a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is that you are watching this video. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Bye. Say bye, Trace. Say bye, buddy. Bye.